Season 2 of the AUSL is underway. We welcome you to Salt Lake City, Utah, home of the reigning champions, where Montana Fouts gets the ball on opening day against the reigning MVP, Erin Coffel, leading the Chicago Bandits into enemy territory. A little bit different look for the AUSL in year 2. The teams have increased. 2 more of them. The Oklahoma City Spark and the Portland Cascade join, bringing our total to 6. There are more games. Each team plays 25. The playoff format is a little bit different, including a 1-game play-in for the 2nd and 3rd seed for a chance to play the number 1 seed in College Station at the end of this year. In the booth, we could not be more excited. Alongside Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. After a wildly successful year 1 in the AUSL, we are here. There are more teams. There are home sites with these fans that are ready to cheer on their teams.
There's just one word about our sport and about AUSL right now, and it's momentum. Last season was absolutely epic for the first season ever for AUSL. I mean, we had 4 teams, we added 2, and we have even more momentum for the Women's College World Series. And the college game, the sport is just at an all-time high. I'm so excited to get it going today.
You know what else we have? A lot more stars because of this unbelievable senior class that we just watched wrap up their careers days ago. We'll see plenty of them in this game.
This senior class was star-studded. We saw them have terrific senior seasons, terrific careers, and we're going to see 3 of them play in this game. A couple of them from UCLA, Jordan Woolry and Taylor Tinsley. They're going to be inactive. They are not here yet, but they are signed. Jocelyn Erickson, 𝐿𝐸𝐸, and Kern are all in the starting lineup for the Bandits today. So we're going to rely a lot on these rookies, as every team in the AUSL is going to, and I think they're going to fit right on in.
And for those Bandit rookie bats, they will face off with one of the best in the league a year ago, Montana Fouts. In her 3rd professional season, she is from Grayson, Kentucky, but she was a dominant force at Alabama. And the last time we saw her in a Talons jersey, it was lifting a trophy with a complete game shutout of this Bandits team in Tuscaloosa.
Montana Fouts is a veteran at this point. She has the championship experience. They won it all, and she was a large part of that. This Talons pitching staff is stout.
It's not just the reigning MVP, it's the reigning home run leader in Morgan Circle. She had 9 of them last year. She is a longtime veteran, now a coach at her alma mater, Marshall, and she will lead things off for what was the best offense in the league a year ago for the then Bandits, now Chicago Bandits. First pitch of the year is outside, ball 1 from Montana Fouts, so Zirkle will lead things off, and it's not necessarily the power that her general manager, Jenny Dalton-Hill, wants to see. She said she'll take it, but she really wants her to be a table setter for this team. If there was one team who you could have picked their market with extreme confidence, it was the Bandits, who will be located in Chicago. That was a team reborn from the former professional league, the NPF, when they were the Chicago Bandits, and the AUSL was not shy about saying that this team was an ode to them. So the Chicago Bandits are back, but they start the season on the road in Utah. Zirkle swinging, that hops up on Hannah Flippin and gets away from last year's Defensive Player of the Year. Zirkle is aboard.
A hard-hit ball off the bat of Zirkle, but just eats up that last hop on Hannah Flippin, who you mentioned was so good defensively last year. She has been so good defensively in her career, played her college ball right here at Utah.
One of these 2 teams trying to join the Oklahoma City Spark, or the Carolina Blaze, and the Carolina Blaze, I should say, as the winners on opening day of this 2026 season, as we get a look at one of the 3 Bandit rookies, Aliyah Andrews. Just finished up her career as an Oklahoma Sooner, but started her career not far from here in Provo, Utah at BYU. This is her first professional at bat. One from Fouts. Hit hard, but foul off the bat of 𝐿𝐸𝐸. One of the things we talked about with the Bandits general manager, Jenny Dalton-Hill, were these 3 rookies, and she was not shy about saying they will have a large part of our success if we are going to have some. And when you look at the lineup tonight, all 3 of their draft picks are in the top 5 in their order. Again, 𝐿𝐸𝐸 fouling off that pitch from Fouts.
Yeah, and Fouts is going to throw with some good velocity in the upper 60s, can really touch 70 miles an hour. Curveball, rise ball, and drop ball are going to be the three pitches that she mostly relies on. And still in the works is an off-speed pitch for her. She continues to try to improve that pitch, to add it to her toolbox. And it's really going to be a necessity. We're looking at a Montana Fouts that has Olympic aspirations to be on Team USA in 2028. And I think that that off-speed pitch, if she were to develop that, would be a large part in her run to try to get a roster spot on that team.
General Manager Lisa Fernandez said she has her sights set on that 2028 team. Got 𝐿𝐸𝐸, first strikeout of the season for Montana Fouts.
And she's going to go to her drop ball, and working from ahead in a pitcher's count, she's able to locate this pitch off the plate and get the chase of a rookie going up against that drop ball for the first time. Fouts helps out her teammate Hannah Flippen after that error.
And they're actually going to bring 𝐿𝐸𝐸 back to the plate. So it was likely a pitch clock violation. Chance not for two. 𝐁𝐫𝐢 was on the move, so she is into second, and it essentially ends up being somewhat of a sacrifice for 𝐿𝐸𝐸.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times today with a pitch clock violation. A couple of times to Kelly Maxwell of the Cascade in the opening game. I don't know if that clock's moving a little bit faster, if it just feels like it's moving faster. These pitchers coming off of spring training, about 12 days that they had in Florida. There was a practice that each team had. They were all in Florida, all 6 teams. They scrimmaged a little bit at the end, but I think that it just starts to move a little bit faster in a real game.
That was something new in the AUSL this year as well. Rather than all of the teams gathering in Rosemont, Illinois, as they had in the past, which is the home of the Chicago Bandits, they went to Jackie Robinson Training Complex in Vero Beach, Florida, for just under 2 weeks. They reported on May 27th and then ended up reporting to their home markets on June 6th. But I think everything we've heard from general managers, coaches, players has been wildly positive about the experience at training camp.
Yeah, a chance to get all the teams together, get to know your team, a lot of new faces with the rookies, a lot of shakeup with the expansion and allocation drafts that we had a few months ago.
This is hard hit by last year's MVP. It's smothered in left. 𝐁𝐫𝐢 coming around, and the Bandits are on the board for the first time in 2026.
Erin Coffel has just been so good, especially with runners in scoring position, and an RBI producer when she has the opportunity. Great layout by Andrews. I thought she had a chance, but it does hit the ground. She traps it, and a very good read by 𝐁𝐫𝐢 to be able to score and not hold up at second base to wait to see if Andrews was going to catch that. That's a veteran base running move, to notice that Andrews was far enough away that even though she has good range, that she could still see that ball down and score from second base and not hold up.
So 1 run across, 1 out here for the Bandits in the first. Slow roller back to Fouts, who doesn't worry about the runner, and she'll take the out of the rookie Jocelyn Erickson. So rookie number 3 coming up for the Bandits here in the first. This is the Stanford star Taryn Kern with her first pro at bat, who takes strike 1. She is reunited with her first collegiate head coach, the new Bandits head coach Shonda Stanton, who Kern played for 1 year, a freshman season, when she was the Big Ten freshman and player of the year, before spending the last 3 at Stanford, and ropes this into center field. It is down for extra bases. Welcome to the pros to Taryn Kern.
Jenny Dunhill, their GM of the Bandits, wanted Taryn Kern to be aggressive as a rookie here. She's been so patient in her career, with when she was at Stanford, oftentimes taking the first pitch strike, working counts deep, and drawing a lot of walks. She wanted Taryn Kern, though, to come up and do this, be aggressive early in the count and barrel up pitches. And that wasn't even one that was right down the heart of the plate. That was up, but it was a little bit out. She still went up looking to hit and drive in runs. That's the exact mindset that Jenny Dalton-Hill and Shonda Stanton want to see from the Bandits early.
Shonda Stanton thinking, yeah, I saw a lot of that back in 2023 when she was a freshman. And we saw it as college softball fans for the last 4 years. Now we get a look at Jessica Clements in her first year in the AUSL. She's a California native, played at Cal Poly, and then finished her career at UCLA as a senior. Her senior season, not this year, but 2025. She was a third-round pick in the allocation draft.
And one thing to know about this field that we'll talk about later, because I didn't realize there's 2 strikes and it's a foul strikeout. My bad.
Hey, that's Montana Fouts' first strikeout for real this time. The Bandits are up 2. Chicago couldn't have asked for a much better start. 2-0. They lead Utah as we head to the bottom of the first on opening day, the 3rd game of the night in the AUSL. We're going to look at a 6th-year pro, Amber Pfizer, who was not a part of the AUSL last year, but comes back this year. She is out of the reserve athlete pool, so she's taking the place of one of the Bandit pitchers that are missing right now. This is a big-time arm who played her college ball at Minnesota, was a first-team All-American, and helped them to the Women's College World Series back in 2019.
Yeah, I love that Amber Pfizer is getting a chance to be a part of the AUSL. She is a gritty, competitive pitcher in the circle. She's going to spin a lot of different variations of her curveball, an off-speed curveball, a regular curveball, a backdoor curveball, and we'll also mix in a rise and a fastball too. But getting the start on opening day, Fouts versus Pfizer, gotta love it.
Amber Pfizer, we spoke with her briefly before the game. She was fired up as she tries to retire Aliyah Andrews to lead things off. Check out the 5-spot. Jayda Coleman making her AUSL debut, one of those 4-time national champions at Oklahoma, and one of the best athletes you will see on a field or court anywhere.
So many great additions, new faces, and with rookies or players that have never played in the AUSL before, or with the Athletes Unlimited before. So many great pickups, so much talent.
Aliyah Andrews spent last year with the Blaze, hit .340 in 19 games played. Grounds this back to Pfizer, who jumps up to make the play. 1 out. Amber Pfizer, when we spoke to her, was with the Bandits' new pitching coach, Taryn McKinney, who just completed her 3rd year at Mississippi State, and they just had a fun little relationship there. I think they both were kind of antsy to get going. Pfizer was very fearless, and Taryn kind of said, I'm a little nervous right now.
It's just that opening day nerves and butterflies, and you have that even when it's the same team that you've been a part of year after year. Nevertheless, being new to a league, new to a team, in front of big crowds, you know you're going to have a nationally televised game. I mean, everything about AUSL brings that energy and that nervousness in you because it means something. It's big. These players and these coaches know it, and it's an honor to get to be a part of it. And I think that you see that from all the players on opening day.
2-0 count to Hannah Flippen, who takes the strike. And this is a fan favorite here in Utah. She starred at this university, so no one knows this field in the league like Hannah Flippen does. She is now a 10th-year pro, longtime Team USA member, and everyone you talk to, Lisa Fernandez, before the game, especially her general manager, talked about how great of a leader Hannah is for this team.
Yeah, she has the experience, she has a softball IQ, she would be a great coach one day, or is a great coach, you know, whenever she's completely done playing. There's just so much to learn from Hannah Flippen, and she's a leader over at shortstop when she's playing defense. Her teammates look to her in the dugout.
She was a 3-time All-American on this field playing for Amy Hogue, who is still the head coach here at Utah. She was a 2-time Pac-12 Player of the Year. Pfizer wanted that call, didn't get it, and Flippen's aboard with 1 away. Hannah actually got on the mic pregame and kind of gave a little rally speech to this crowd who was very into it. They love Hannah Flippin here in Salt Lake City.
And how cool it is to get to be a part of this town that you played your college ball in, that you're so connected to, and so many familiar faces, and of course a familiar field, but just such a cool thing that you get to play in at your alma mater.
Savannah Jayquesh is slotted into the 3-hole for the Talons. And remember, when those two new teams entered the league, teams like the Bandits and the Talons, who were so successful a year ago, lost some of their best players. They were only able to protect 5 on their roster in the expansion draft. And so for the Talons, this lineup looks a lot different. Maya Brady, Sydney Romero, Sierra Sacco Ferry, all selected, as well as Tori Vidalis in the expansion draft. Jayquesh lets that pitch go, and I say that with Savannah Jayquesh at the plate because she didn't play a lot last year. She was a little banged up with an injury, but this is somebody who at times has been one of the best hitters in the world when she's at her best.
Yeah, and Lisa Fernandez, the GM of the Talons, is really excited about the potential of what this year is going to look like for Savannah Jayquesh. I mean, when we were talking to her, she just casually slipped it in that she felt like Jayquesh is going to have a great year this year. And I was like, hold on, what? Is that your gut telling you that? Is it intuition? Did you see something? And she just felt like with her being healthy, it was going to lead to that.
Jayquesh to right center field. Back and caught at the wall by Circle. This crowd went crazy when that left the bat of Jayquesh.
Okay, so remember when I was going to say something before Montana Fouts threw the strikeout, and I kind of, cornered myself because I started saying something at the wrong time. Well, the one thing I was going to say is how big this field is. 235 to center field, 225 down the line. So a ball that on many other fields would get out of here stays in the ballpark here. That on the TrackMan was registered at 237 feet.
I think one thing that will be telling at the end of the season, statistically, this is likely to be a team that is top 2 in doubles and probably in the bottom half in home runs because of those dimensions.
This is a tough field to hit it out on, which is a pitcher's type field. For the reason that you just saw there, Morgan Zirkle tracking down that ball off the bat of Jayquesh, that had home run written all over it. Amber Pfizer was probably getting that feeling in her stomach like, oh no. And then it just turns into an out. And then in comparison to Carolina Blaze and their home field at Duke, it's 190 down the line. So more of a hitter-friendly ballpark there.
So on one side for the Talons, you give what was the best pitching staff in the league a year ago that largely returns intact, a massive field. But it is tough for these hitters to get it out of the ballpark. Not that they can't, because in BP we saw some balls that were going about 270 feet.
Well, and I feel like that's the norm now in softball. We saw it in the college season, the offensive explosion. I anticipate seeing it in the pro season in June and July here. The ball is just flying. Tons of home runs being hit.
1-2 inside to Charlize Palacios, and that got her on the wrist maybe. So she will take first with 2 away.
Jayda Coleman.
Still kind of holding her forearm where that hit her. A life of a catcher, even when you're not behind the plate. Speaking of the catchers, Mary Jacopo, now a veteran from Texas, keeps that in front and keeps the runners at first and second. This is Jayda Coleman at the plate, who takes a strike, just an absolute superstar from Oklahoma, one of many. She was a first-round pick in the allocation draft, and it was somewhat of a no-brainer because they had just lost their center fielder, Maya Brady, with the first pick in the expansion draft to the Oklahoma City Spark, who, by the way, hit a grand slam tonight in her debut for that team.
And Jayda Coleman is just electric. She is an athlete. She covers a lot of ground. She flies down the line. And she can hit with a lot of power. I mean, Jayda Coleman is a 5-tool player. And the fact that we have her now in AUSL and get a chance to watch her play, she is an absolute star.
On the World Games team for Team USA last year that won gold. And Coleman thought she was on first. She returns, and it is a full count. And Talons head coach Cindy Ball-Malone immediately comes out of the dugout. And I don't think it was necessarily to argue the call. I think it was to give her batter a chance to settle down a little bit.
You'll notice that the strike zone seems to be a little bit wider in AUSL than what you notice just coming off of watching the Women's College World Series or watching any game in the regular season. You'll notice that the strike zone will seem a little bit larger, and it's something that these hitters have to adjust to.
Hard hit right side, smothered by Kern at first, and she steps on the bag. So it's a clean first inning for Amber Fizer, and it's the Bandits on the road with the lead. Even more special when you're debuting in your new home here in Salt Lake City for the reigning champion Utah Talons, who got their banner put up on the left field wall. Special moment for these fans to have the reigning champions in town now.
I love that we start out with a little rematch situation going on here. I mean, last year, the Bandits started out so strong, and they quickly went out to first place. They were crushing the ball. Last year, as an entire season, the Bandits was the #1 offense in the league, but they started out that way. I mean, they had a quick start.
𝐤𝐸 on the line, bounces it across to first, one out to retire Mary Jacopo. To your point, Amanda, they started 9-2, but finished the regular season 6-7, and then lost to the Talons in the championship in just 2 games.
And the Talons seem to be a team that got better as we went on. They kind of had 2 different trajectories over the course of the season, and the Talons were just peaking at the right time, especially with their pitching staff, with Georgina Korick and Montana Fouts and Megan Framo, a 3-headed monster that they still have on their pitching staff that they kept together. I mean, those 3 on their own are just so tough to beat.
Not to mention they added Dallas Escobedo-McGee, who was a superstar in her time at Arizona State, longtime pro, and then Taylor Tinsley, who we all just were enamored with in the postseason, throwing every pitch for UCLA from supers to the end of the year in the Women's College World Series.
And we were in Tuscaloosa. Montana Fouts would get the ball. She just had a different energy pitching at her former alma mater field where she got to play so many games on. I mean, it was just unbelievable how the Talons took over in that finals. And Montana just hit a new level. And I mean, all these players are competitive and they're gamers, but we saw right in front of us, Montana Fouts hit a new level with the championship on the line and helped them win it.
I think Montana Fouts, when she enters the city limits of Tuscaloosa, her powers increase by about 75%. That is smothered by Ellis, but it bounces into foul territory. And Sami Williams, the 6th-year pro out of Iowa State, is aboard with 1 out in the second.
And that is a hard hit off the bat of Sami Williams. 76 miles per hour. 65 miles an hour would be considered a hard hit. So that's 76. You're playing 60 feet away, right at first base where Bri Ellis was positioned. And that'll go down as a hit, eh? There's a couple that I probably would write down as errors that are being given hits. So that's going to be a hit.
You're a pitcher. You did both, to your credit, but you're a pitcher at heart.
I think that play needs to be made. Let's hit right to her. It was hard to hit, but hit right to her.
1-1 count now to Bella Dayton in the 9 spot for the Chicago Bandits. Dayton wasn't the day 1 starter for the Bandits in the outfield last year, but quickly won her spot and never looked back. She swings through that. There is some serious heat from Montana Fouts coming through at 71 miles per hour.
Yeah, she's throwing with good velocity and oftentimes working from ahead. I feel like I've looked up a lot and there's been a lot of 1-2 counts.
5 of the 6 batters she faced in the first inning saw first pitch strikes. Off the end of the bat from Dayton. 𝐤𝐥𝐥𝐢 off balance. Dayton has too much speed, and that will likely go as an infield single.
Well, that's something to know about this Bandits team, and we saw this last year, is that not only could they hit the long ball and drive in a lot of runs with their power, but they had a lot of speed too, and this is a prime example of this. Bella Dayton just motoring down the line as 𝐤𝐥𝐥𝐢 had to move so far across the field that as she was moving across the field, Bella Dayton was getting down the line.
That type of roster fits their head coach, Shonda Stanton, who is still the head coach at Indiana, just completed her 9th year there. She's turned them into a power in the Big Ten and a perennial postseason team. But if there's one thing Indiana wants to do, they want to run. They are going to be top 10 in the country in stolen bases every year. And it'll be interesting to see what she does with the Bandits team, who led the league last year in stolen bases and have a lot of that speed and maybe a little bit more this year.
I just love that they steal bases and their team name is the Bandits. I mean, that it just goes together. We wouldn't have it any other way, right? Oh, poor Palacios.
Charlize is taking a little bit of a beating here on opening day, both at the plate as a hitter and behind the dish as a catcher. She was all defensive team last year. Fortunately, it did get the leg guard.
I like the gold on the chest protector. Little blingy with the gold pops on the chest protector. I like that.
Tell you what, whoever designed the jerseys,
oh, top notch. All of them today just look awesome. And the Talons with these, they're not white uniforms, right? They're more cream uniforms, and the baby blue for the Bandits look great.
You hear the caw chants here in Utah for the Talons. Back at Fouts! Wow! And you hear the appreciation from the home crowd for Montana Fouts, taking that away from Morgan Zirkle.
Yeah, the Bandits have been on time with Montana Fouts this first time through, and this is a second look that Zirkle is going to have against her. That pitch was right down the heart of the plate, and she shot it right back up the middle of the field. That was hit so hard. She reacted so quickly that it knocked her mask off, but got her glove up, got an important out, and important protection of herself, too, after she released the pitch.
First pitch swinging for 𝐿𝐵𝐢 is fouled off. She had a really lengthy at bat her first time up, a number of foul balls. What's it tell you, though, about if you're calling pitches for Montana Fouts right now, how do you try to alter that?
And I like to try to see her drop in that off-speed pitch that I had heard about, an off-speed drop ball that she had been working on. We haven't seen it yet. Maybe we'll see it this second time through.
Hard hit and just foul.
I think you're seeing her too with a lot of these lefties that the Bandits are bringing up to the plate. There's only 3 right-handed hitters in the Bandits starting lineup today, so a lot of lefties are going up against Fouts, and you can tell she likes to lean on her arm side. So throwing her drop there, a backdoor curveball, a rise ball on that side of the plate.
0-2. Misses down and away.
An off-speed pitch though, going from 71 to 66, even that 5-mile-an-hour difference can be a difference maker and in at bat. And just to show that pitch to the Bandits is going to put it in the back of their heads.
𝐿𝐵𝐢 fouled that off her leg to stay alive in the 1-2 count.
As it bats against her this first time through, they already had 5 hits on the board. That Zirkle line drive could have been another one. They've been seeing her well.
You mentioned the heavy left-hand lineup. The Talons do not have a lefty on staff.
Well, and it looks like, you know, when Montana is trying to work these lefties in, it's more over, you know, middle end, because the lefties are right on top of the plate, not giving her a big area on the inside corner to throw to.
Got her that time down low for strikeout number 2. Montana Fouts puts up a 0 in the second. Talons get the bats next.
And we talked about the way that she pitched in the championship. She got better as the season went on, which all these players are going to. You know, you start out, you have to knock off some rust, whether it's in the circle or out in the field defensively or up the plate. Led by their GM, Lisa Fernandez, who is oftentimes called the GOAT in our sport.
She is an absolute winner, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 5-time national champion as an assistant coach, 2 as a player at UCLA back in the early 90s. And now she can add a USL champion to her resume that is pages and pages long.
And was a part of an offense with UCLA, led that offense that hit over 200 home runs, probably the best collegiate offense we've ever seen in our game with what they were able to do this year.
36 of those home runs came off the bat of Jordan Woolery, who she took with her first pick in the college draft this year. She also took another UCLA Bruin, Taylor Tinsley. It was their only 2 college draft picks. Both have signed. They are just not with the team yet, so they're currently on the temporary inactive list, but will join the team soon, I think is the expectation. And you would imagine Jordan Woolery goes right into the heart of this order.
Has to. I mean, she is so clutch. We've seen it in her UCLA career. I'm sure she's excited to get to join up with the team, and I'm sure they're excited to get her. And then just the fight resiliency that we saw from Taylor Tinsley this year in the circle, pitching that final game of her career against Texas Tech, one of the all-time great games at the Women's College World Series. We saw in a 9-inning battle that she pitched every single pitch of and just left it all out on the field. Taylor Tinsley did.
3-2 count against Caroline Jacobsen, who takes ball 4. Jacobsen, arguably the most consistent bat for the Talons a year ago. Her average at .384 was the 5th best in the league, and her first at bat in 2026 is a walk. So from Jacobsen to Jadelyn Allchin to face Amber Fizer here in this second inning. And you want to talk about great stories. And it should give a lot of these players who have come out of the athlete reserve pool or the reserve athlete pool hope that their careers can continue. It's Jadelyn Allchin, who was not a full-time member of the Talons in the traditional sense. She was picked out of the reserve athlete pool last year, played with them the entire season, but was unable to play in the championship because they got healthy. So what did Lisa Fernandez do in the allocation draft? She went and got Allchin and made her a Talon.
She earned her spot in an everyday lineup. I mean, just had a breakout summer and took advantage of every opportunity that was given to her.
So for somebody like Amber Fizer and a number of other players who are out of that reserve athlete pool, I think there's the hope that there is room for them in this league. I think the hope we all have is that we'll see even more expansion in the near future. The pitch misses. This is the first at bat of 2026 for Bri Ellis, who of course took the college softball world by storm as the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year last year for Arkansas, but had a very slow professional rookie year. Hit just 186, 8 total hits, just 1 home run. Second-year pro out of Houston, Texas. Crushes it! Center field! Bri Ellis is back! Just one last year. She gets her first in her first AB of 2026.
You know that Bri Ellis has been waiting to be able to get back out onto the field after a tough rookie year, where she wanted to do more of this, where she knows what she is capable of. 266 feet, 80 miles an hour off of her bat. And man, Bri Ellis, that is a Bri bomb that we were used to seeing at Arkansas that we did not get to see very often in her AUSL season. But you know that that felt so good. Her first at bat, she hits a home run. You know she wanted that so bad.
26 of them as a senior at Arkansas. She was a first-team All-American, USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year. But it just didn't come easy in the pro ranks for her. And then she ended up kind of behind Tori Vidalis. She would kind of DP a little bit here and there, but she has an opportunity to earn an everyday role in her second professional season. Ground ball back to Pfizer, who knocks it down, and there's 2 outs.
Well, there's going to be some tough decisions to be made when Jordan Woolery gets here.
Let's go down to the third member of our team, Anna Camden with Bri Ellis.
Bri, first home run of the season for you and for the Talons. How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so happy for us. I'm so happy to get those runs back for Montana. Clearly, I'm out of breath from celebrating with my team, but just happy that we got a runner on and that we were able to execute and get those runs.
When I just pulled you, said I might not be able to speak, but sure, I'll be on camera. What's going through your mind as your lungs are pumping and you're trying to get that all the way around?
I'm just really proud of myself, and I'm really proud of my teammates and thankful for them and my coaches for, helping me have the courage and resilience to be able to swing at a 2-strike pitch like that. So yeah,
awesome. Thanks. Good job. Back to you, Chucky.
Thank you, Anna. And Bri Ellis got to catch her breath because she's got to take the field again, but has given Montana Fouts some life with a 2-run shot.
And this is what the fans here in Utah want to see. Bri bombs starting the season in the 8-hole for the Talons, but if she keeps swinging it like this, she is going to move her way on up.
It didn't even feel real until she was practicing with Erin Coffel, who actually coached her at Florida. And now the two are back on the field together, not as coach and player, but as teammates.
And Erin Coffel, who spent the last couple of years at Florida as a grad manager under Tim Walton, of course, got a great look at Jocelyn Erickson when she was there, as well as 𝐂𝐚𝐫𝐢, who we'll see for the Portland Cascade. There's so many great connections, though, in the league, as Anna just pointed out. Jocelyn Erickson due up second behind the reigning MVP Erin Coffel at the plate. She's an Indiana native, played her college ball at Kentucky for Rachel Lawson, where she became the first 3-time All-American in the program's history. Takes that inside 3-1 count.
Getting to see, Erin Coffel probably practice with Tim Walton and take some reps on her own and just probably be in the ear of Erin Coffel on Florida road trips and just, whenever she possibly could. Just what a luxury to be able for Jocelyn Erickson to have Erin Coffel hang around the Florida team and contribute to their team and their success. They had a great season. And to be able to pick her brain a little bit, and reigning MVP, you're going to be right next to, able to learn from. And I know that Erin Coffel raves about being able to learn from Tim Walton, as well as Jocelyn Erickson did, the head coach of the Florida Gators.
Coffel chopper, gonna try and beat this out. 𝐤𝐿𝐴 charging, and they just got Coffel at first. Savannah 𝐤𝐿𝐴 has been busy at third base on a couple of those long runs.
And the thing to remember about Savannah 𝐤𝐿𝐴 is that she can also catch. So she really is somebody that is an athlete that can do a lot of different things. Look at the range that she covered there to be able to take that ball from Hannah Flippin. Already going to be a bang-bang play at first base, and that is her job as a third baseman, to make that a shorter play to get into her glove to make that quicker throw.
𝐤𝐿𝐴 was an excellent player at LSU for Beth Torina, 4-time All-American there, finished her career in 2017. They went to 3 straight Women's College World Series, and they have not been since. This is Jocelyn Erickson in a 1-1 count. Native of Phoenix, Arizona, started her career at Oklahoma, but played the last 3 in Gainesville for Tim Walton at Florida.
Well, versatility is king in this league with the roster of just 16 players. When you think about the college rosters, and it's 20, so you have just many more options, and at times it was getting to like 24, 25 on a college roster. I mean, that is a large roster compared to what we have in the AUSL, so versatility like Savannah Jayquich and Erickson is huge.
Fouts fielding her position. There's 2 outs as she retires Erickson.
Because remember, Jocelyn Erickson can play a great first base. Tim Walton raved about Jocelyn Erickson being a gold glove first baseman who could also be a gold glove catcher back behind the plate. Just a left-handed power hitter who can play first and catch. I mean, she is a rarity with what she's able to bring to a team.
Erin Kern takes ball 1 inside. Her first Pro AB was an RBI double off the wall in center field. Kind of a unique stance all over the plate, just challenging pitchers. 2-0.
A lot of these lefties are just getting right on top of the plate and just challenging Montana Fouts to paint an outside corner and then to try to work them inside, just giving little to no room on the inner half to work them inside with her drop or curve or rise. And that a backdoor curveball will come to a left-handed hitter, start in the right-handed batter's box, and then cut back across the outside corner to a lefty. That's the pitch that she just threw there. And again, back-to-back pitches to Kern. Good command of that pitch. You see her gathering herself here as that foul ball was hit off, took a long walk to the back of the circle, looked to the outfield. You could tell probably trying to catch her breath, think about what she wants to throw in this important 2-2 count.
Took a little off that to 66, but runs it outside for ball 3. Deep breath from Kern. Nobody on, 2 outs in the third. The 2 runs for the Bandits came in the first inning. Kern in the air to shallow left. Aliyah Andrews coming in, flipping, lets her have it. Good communication in the outfield for last year's best defense. Another 0 for Montana Fouts. We are joined by Morgan live in the field. Awesome moment today, of course, Morgan, year 2 of the AUSL opening day. You had a fantastic season a year ago. Let's just start, though, with the excitement on the player side. Do you guys feel everything I think we are feeling as fans about this year?
Absolutely. It's growing as part of the PEC. I get a little bit of a look at how much it's growing and the decisions we're able to be a part of. And it's really exciting. It's some elite softball and a great product, so we're excited to give it to more fans.
Morgan, when you were thinking about this next season and maybe thinking about it while you guys were still playing, or maybe you didn't think about it until you guys were done playing at Marshall and your postseason ended, what were you looking forward to the most? Like, what was most exciting to you when you thought about coming into this season?
I think just in year 2, you think year 1's kind of a fairy tale, and year 2 it kind of sets in that this is real, this is pro softball and what it's going to be from here on out, which is so awesome. So been visualizing my first at bat since it ended last year and excited to be here.
Savannah Jayquich at the plate after Hannah Flippin lined up. 3rd inning of work for Amber Pfizer in the circle for the Bandits. We talk about all these fantastic connections all year long about the players who have played together, the coaches who have coached former players. You, of course, have a very unique relationship with your head coach, Shonda Stanton, who you played for at Marshall as that gets away from Kern at first. But you're 10 years removed from your college playing career. You're a totally different person now. You're your own head coach.
For sure.
What has that relationship been like?
It's been interesting coming back and getting to be coached by Coach Stanton. I mean, 10 years is crazy. So it's really a full circle moment, and it's surreal to have her over there.
Ground ball in the first pitch from Palacios to try and get the lead runner. It's going to go into the outfield. And 1 run will score. Jayquich comes around. They wanted to get the lead runner. Instead, it's the Talons on the board with their 3rd run.
You could tell Sami Williams just a little hesitant, not very sure of her throw. Back-to-back errors made by Sami Williams over at third base. And after you make that first one, oftentimes the ball is going to find you again. And it did challenge her to make an even trickier throw to second base than the first throw that she made when Savannah Jaquith was up.
Give an opportunity to Jayda Coleman at the plate. Taryn McKinney out of the Bandits dugout to talk with Pfizer. So Morgan, I guess back to the question about Shonda. Are you as easy to convince when she's coaching you up, or do you have some pushback now as your own head coach?
I'm definitely a little more outspoken, and I'm sure she told you that, so.
No, she did not tell us that. That was just thinking about like what the change of, relationship and dynamic would be.
Back!
Deep to right center field, and caught a really nice grab in right field by Clements. The run scores, but it saves extra bases from Coleman.
Okay, that was actually something I was going to ask you about, and there's 2 outs, which we could get the next one very quick as a heads up for you. But with how big this field is and you playing center field, what are the keys to you to be able to play in this big outfield and help out your corner outies?
Yeah, we talked about not getting beat in front with the people that we need to get beat in front in, because it is so big. You can run back forever. So we've had a few catches close to the ball already. But the ball also hangs, the wind's kind of blowing weird, so we have a good fast outfield and we'll use that to our advantage.
Caroline Jacobsen at the plate with 2 outs. Morgan, we appreciate the time as always. I'm sure we'll talk to you more this year, but good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Morgan.
She is a superstar, and it's really incredible when you talk about when do these athletes hit their prime. Morgan Zerkel has passed the 30-year mark in her life, and she is probably playing the best softball of her life, which is scary.
And just had to run a couple of, 60-yard sprints to right center field to track down an errant throw, and then to track down a sacrifice fly to communicate to Jessica Clements out there in right field. So even though Clements caught that ball, Morgan Zerkel, a big job that she has is letting her know you have room, and you trust your center fielder too when you're Jessica Clements, and you have a veteran like Morgan Zerkel leading your way, giving you direction to be able to know that you have room and make that out. There's also sun that they're battling in the outfield right now. That's starting to subside now. Clements is the only one in the outfield.
That's Williams quickly and makes the play over to Kern to end the inning. But a couple unearned runs come across. We have another very special guest coming up, by the way. How about our very own Holly Rowe, who will join us for the first chair chat of the season. There's Holly, glove and everything, ready to go next inning. We have a very special guest in the ballpark tonight, Holly Rowe. This is pregame, talking with some players, and of course, throwing out the first pitch. I think that bounced in there for a strike in my book. And Charlize Palacios framed it up well. We are joined by Holly Rowe right now. Our first chair chat of the year, and of course it has to be Holly. I just have to ask you, you were here last year, you saw it, but it's different this year. These teams have home markets. The momentum has continued into year 2 with the AUSL. You've seen the growth of this sport. What stands out most to you?
Yeah, it's really exciting. So pregame, I got to talk with Hannah Flippen, who was an All-American for Utah, got her team to the Women's College World Series, and I got to say, did you ever imagine you'd be playing pro softball back here in Utah? And she said, I didn't imagine it, and here's what we've built. They came here on one of the barnstorming tour stops last year, and it was such a hit, 2 sold-out games, that now they've made it one of the permanent 6 homes. So it's pretty cool, and as you can see, this is one of the most beautiful ballparks in America. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. I had never called a game here before, and it just mountains behind us, mountains in front of us. It's just absolutely stunning. But Holly, you mentioned the Women's College World Series, and the ratings came out, and it was just rating after rating that was sky high in softball. And why do you think that is happening right now?
Because these are incredible athletes, and I think the bigger platform that they get to play on, we're putting games on ABC, ESPN. I mean, these games tonight are on ESPN. So if you see softball and you get to see how great these women are, you will keep watching. And I always tell people, just come to one game, just tune into one game, and I promise you will be hooked. And I think we're seeing that. The highest rated softball game in history at the World Series this year, the highest rated World Series, and it's just really exciting that people are tuning in and finding out how incredible they are.
Is ball 3 outside from Fouts. It's Jessica Clements leading off the 4th inning for the Bandits.
Yeah, Holly, you know, you cover a lot of different sports, and you have for many years now, men's and women's included, of course. But what is it about women's sports that holds such a special place in your heart?
Well, I think these women are playing, you know, I was a softball player growing up, but I never had an opportunity to play at this level. And so to see women have these opportunities now, I'm just excited for the platform and that they have the opportunities. So I'm just happy to be here, and I hope we can all, you know, just keep growing the game. I know, Amanda, you have done a lot to grow the game, and I think we all have that responsibility. Oh my gosh, I have my glove. Oh, I did bring my glove, by the way. I'm ready if they hit it to me, so.
You're also ready because you have season tickets this year.
Yes, as soon as tickets went on sale, I bought season tickets. I have 10 season tickets, and our Joyous Foundation is also bringing people to games. So if you know anyone that's going through cancer or something, they need to get their mind off and come to the ballpark, look at our Joyous Foundation, and we'll bring you to a game and make sure that you get to experience some joy, because this is a place that gives me joy, and I want to share that with everybody.
3-2 count. You hear the caw counts as we get our tradition started here in the AUSL as well. That's a walk for Clements.
Okay, so this is what I love is they're teaching us like this talons claw thing, which I don't know if I have that, and it's a little weird, but they're doing the caw. So we're learning tonight in real time what it's going to be like to be a home fan for AUSL.
First pitch that gets through into right field. It was kind of an awkward swing from 𝐿𝐴𝐸. And the first 2 are aboard here in the 4th.
Holly, why Utah? Why do you think that this is a good spot for the AUSL to have a home team at?
So we have a huge softball culture here. So people don't realize this, but through the community, we have a huge adult slow pitch culture here in Utah. It's one of the most popular sports. Larry H. Miller, who was the original owner of the Utah Jazz, was a fast pitch guru, and so we have a lot of softball culture here. You can see it's sold out tonight. The stands are full, and I think it's just going to get better and bigger because there's a lot of people who play here and love it, and I really love seeing the stands packed tonight.
Unbelievable setting here at Dumke Family Stadium at the University of Utah. This is Sami Williams, who's trying to lay down the bunt but fouls it off, strike 1. What's, for you, having covered the sport for so long, what stands out most about the game now versus 15, 20 years ago?
Well, I think what I'm really excited about tonight sitting here watching is just the power of these women. So when Bri Ellis got up to bat, I leaned to everybody in the row and I said, this is the best hitter on the team. Boom, she hits it over the fence for a home run. So I just love how strong, how powerful. But the other thing I'm enjoying is we are seeing Olympians on this field tonight. You know, Montana Fouts is in the pool, Jayda Coleman. There's a lot of women that we are watching in these games tonight in the season tip-off for AUSL that we will see in Los Angeles at the 2028 Olympics and at Oklahoma City. So I'm really excited that we are seeing the next generation of Olympic superstars right in front of our eyes, and they're all making their case each and every pitch and each and every at-bat this year.
1-2 count to Sami Williams from Fouts. Couple strikeouts for Montana. Slow roller left side. 𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐸 is going to will this toward the foul line, and it touches the bag.
You had a really good view down the line, Holly, if that was going to go foul or fair.
No, it stayed fair. The spin wasn't in their favor. It stayed fair.
No, not at all. I think it even hit the bag with the Bandit player on it. And I thought it had some potential to keep rolling. We needed about, what, I don't know, 5 extra feet for that to continue to roll foul.
So one of the things I'm interested in this ballpark, you know, we are at elevation, and I've been wondering if the ball was really going to fly. You know, the air is thinner up here, and I think it's going to be a really friendly ballpark for home runs, but that foul ball, I don't know that that was that friendly right there.
Holly, does anybody ever ask you your favorite moments at the Women's College World Series? When you look back, you've covered it for so many years. Just, I don't know, what memories from the Women's College World Series come to mind for you?
Well, the number one that jumps into my mind, and because I just saw her here, she's a member of the Bandits staff, is Taryn Mowat. You know, she threw, I think it was 1,085 pitches in her pitching at the World Series to give Arizona the national championship. We have not seen distance like that in a long time. One of the most courageous one of the most famous changeups we've ever seen. So seeing Taryn Mowat, who is coaching tonight for the Bandits, that brought back some really good memories. So I love seeing that. And then the Megan Langenfeld years from UCLA, it's hard to believe that was almost 20 years ago.
Bella Dayton takes strike two. Big spot here for the Chicago Bandits in a bases-loaded situation, down 2 runs with nobody out in the 4th.
Bella played her college ball here before transferring to OU, so this is a familiar ballpark for her.
Outside ball 2. I love this, Holly. You're like our dictionary of softball knowledge out there. We just need you all the time as like a little research at least.
In all her spare time, Holly.
I'm the most annoying fan in the stands right now because anyone sitting around me, I'm giving them stats and play-by-play, and they're like, oh, okay. There we go.
Slow roller, Jaquish coming home with it. They cut down the lead runner and nobody scores. Well, Holly, we're going to show the map here in a second of all 6 host cities. I don't want to play favorites. I'm not sure there's a more beautiful setting than the one we are here tonight, but the AUSL truly spans the entire country. We've seen the incredible crowds. What is it about this crowd? Like, they've just embraced it so much, and you talked about it. The traditions that they're starting, you're learning in real time. What do you like about this community most?
Yeah, well, you know, Utah softball's had a really good program for a long time. Jo Evans, who, Amanda, I know you played for at Texas A&M, she started her career and started this program here at Utah, and she was so great here, got them to such great heights, and then Amy Hogue has continued that tradition. So there's been really good college softball here for a long time. BYU has a great program. Utah State up north has a great program. So we have high-level softball in this state.
And Coach Evans, Holly, is now on staff with the Spark, so I can't wait to get to call one of her games as a part of the Oklahoma City Spark. Excited to have that connection with that team and get to see her.
That's right. And then keep in mind the AUSL Championship Series is going to be at Texas A&M July 24th, 25th, 26th. So A&M's going to have some fun softball. People down there should get excited that that Champ Series is going to come your way.
We've prepped for weeks for this game, and we don't have a 10th of the knowledge of our guest, Holly Rowe. And Holly, of course, we thank you so much for your time, as always.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Holly.
She might just stay out there. That's a great spot, honestly.
It is a good spot, and you're just kind of by yourself out there. You get a different view.
Montana Fouts coming home, and this is working out perfectly so far. They won't get 2, but with the bases loaded, it's back-to-back non-productive outs. So Montana Fouts walks the leadoff in this inning, then a couple singles before a pair of fielders' choices where they're able to cut down the lead runner coming home, and still a 0 on the board for the Bandits. This is grounded up the middle, and stepping on second is Becker. Montana Fouts doing a little cha-cha to the danger there in the 4th, and Utah leads by 2. 4-2 in beautiful Salt Lake City. The Utah Talons leading the Chicago Bandits. Could you ask for a better setting for professional softball, wrapping up an opening day triple header in the AUSL? The Spark and the Blaze already winners tonight. So it's been a home team that has won each of the first 2 games. The Talons trying to keep that trend going in a rematch of the 2025 AUSL Championship, in which the Talons defeated the Bandits. Jadelyn Allchin leads things off. It's 7-8-9 for the Talons here in the 4th against Amber Pfizer. And it's really interesting. There's 4 runs on the board for the Talons. They have 1 hit, and it was a 2-run Bri Ellis home run.
I couldn't believe it when Holly got finished with their interview and we got out of the inning. I'm like, all right, let me just take another look back at the scoreboard, like gather myself. The Talons have 1 hit and the Bandits have 7. Didn't quite realize that, and because it just didn't feel that way, but they've been able to take advantage of some free passes that Pfizer has given to them, and then that Bri bomb. There's another free pass like we were just talking about.
2 hit batters and 2 walks. Don't forget, Athletes Unlimited Softball continues Thursday. Bandits Talons at 9 Eastern on ESPNU. That'll wrap up our 3-game series here in Salt Lake City. First pitch outside to Bri Ellis after Jadelyn Allchin was hit by the pitch. Ellis out in front of the off speed at 58 from Pfizer. There it is, 1 home run all of last summer for Bri Ellis, who still had an on-base percentage at about .395. She's earned a lot of walks and was hit by some pitches, but this is what she wants to do.
Yeah, just got her swing off with, even with 2 strikes. We're deep into that count and got a rise ball that was left up over the heart of the plate and did exactly what she needed to do with that pitch. If you're Bri Ellis, you hit a mistake like that and drive it out of the ballpark. And now, because of that, she is getting a heavy dose of Amber Pfizer's off-speed curveball and way out in front of it, wanting to be on time with something 67, 68, not upper 50s.
Tries to tempt her outside, full count instead. Outside of that 1 pitch to Ellis, and maybe you could argue the free passes, Pfizer's been pretty good. This is crushed, left field, back to the wall, and it pops out of the glove of Dayton. Allchin racing around from first, and it'll be an RBI double for Bri Ellis. I think she's feeling pretty good.
So 2 hits for the Talons, and both have been off of the bat of Bri Ellis. And this big park is holding in several of these deep fly balls off the bat of the Talons hitters. This is a big ballpark, 225 down the lines, and it shows on the TrackMan this is hit 227, so almost had enough to get out of here. So maybe some wind, knocking it down a little bit, keeping it inside the ballpark. Great effort by Dayton, but another extra base hit for Bri Ellis.
Both hits tonight, extra bases, both with 2 strikes. That is a dangerous woman standing on second base if she's swinging it like this. Now Rachel Becker in the 9 spot, trying to keep it going. First 2 have reached here in the 4th off of Pfizer. Rachel Becker, a 4th-year pro. She's from Lindenhurst, Illinois, not far from where the Chicago Bandits actually call home in Rosemont. Drafted in the 3rd round of the allocation draft, played the last couple of years for the Oklahoma City Spark before they joined the AUSL. Takes ball 1.
I think the Talons are gonna, in their big field, gonna have to hit the weights a little bit, start eating their Wheaties, do whatever it takes to bring in the protein. Got to get a little bit stronger. 227 just not gonna cut it here on this field. Got to hit it 240, like we saw at VP several times.
Over the head of Coffel, Ellis will be held at 3rd. And it's a first hit of the season for Rachel Becker.
It's 3rd time through the order now for the Talons coming up, and I think the Bandits are going to have to start to make some decisions with a potential pitching change. Bandits are missing some key pieces on their pitching staff.
Lexi Kilfoyle, Kat Sandercock, and Emily Kennedy, 3 of their primary 5 arms, are all on the temporary inactive list right now, finishing up their professional seasons in Japan as they get Andrews to ground out and get the runner headed to 2nd, so there's 1 away. But you mentioned it earlier, the Bandits, one of the things that set them apart last year was they started the season 9-2, and they did that in part because they had their whole complement of players from really day 1. It is a completely different story for them this year. They have 5 players on the temporary inactive list.
An illegal pitch call based off of Amber Pfizer going to her glove and then stepping off and separating her hands again, I believe. Just not something that you see very often, but a mix-up in the pitch call and how she presented the ball, and home plate umpire Alex Leap noticed it right away, called an illegal pitch.
Flippin spins one out in front of the plate. She is retired. And in somewhat similar fashion to what Montana Fouts did, there is one run across in this inning, but Pfizer's doing a nice job of potentially getting out of this jam. Now Savannah Jaquith, 0 for 2, but reached on an error her last time and scored. With those missing pieces for the Bandits, the 3 pitchers, and then their usual everyday shortstop Skylar Wallace, as well as Jocelyn Erickson, who is due a congratulations for the birth of her child recently, and they hope to get her back at some point this year. But with them, this is a team that needs to be good defensively. In support of these pitchers, as well as the fact that they are missing some powerful bats.
And again, just knocking some rust off early, some nerves, trying to find that team chemistry.
Jaquith into center, Zirkle stays with it, makes the catch. Nice job by Amber Pfizer to limit the damage to 1. Bri Ellis is feeling it out of the gates in 2026. 4 innings completed in Utah, packed house here at the home of the Utes in Salt Lake City, Utah. Dumke Family Softball Stadium opened in 2013, but now the home of the Utah Talons. As we get set to see the heart of this Bandits order, 3, 4, and 5 due up. Erin Coffel, Jocelyn Erickson, and Taryn Kern. And this is a lineup, Amanda, that was really, really good last year. They were decimated a little bit in the expansion draft. You could only protect 5 players, as I mentioned, and they protected 3 hitters. It was the MVP, Erin Coffel, Skylar Wallace, and Morgan Zirkle, but in doing so, they lost Sydney McKinney, Bubba Nichols-Camarena, and Delaney Wiz, who are all on the Oklahoma City Spark now.
And Spark have a really deep lineup. I mean, their offense scored 13 runs today. They had 5 home runs by 5 different players. That's a team that is going to put up a lot of, I think, crooked numbers as we go on in this season.
Maya Brady hit a grand slam for the Spark in her debut for Oklahoma City. Tiare Jennings hit a grand slam for the Volts, but that was 4 of their 5 runs they scored in their 13-5 loss. Erin Coffel is 1 for 2 tonight. Takes the 1-2 pitch low.
The cough thing's really catching on.
Yeah.
But does every home team have a strikeout thing like that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I
We're going to
wonder.
find out because we're going to be everywhere. The Blaze had something today, and I'm drawing a blank on what it was, but they were doing something, and I think they've all got their traditions that they're going to have. Also got the rivalry kind of that's already being pushed with the Texas-Oklahoma side of things. Yeah, that was a big deal. A lot of the folks in Oklahoma City, kind of notable people in the area, were fired up about that.
Like the pro version of a Red River rivalry type thing. That's between Texas and OU, but you know, the Red River is in between Texas and Oklahoma.
Is this a young budding rivalry here, Chicago and Utah?
That's what I was about to say.
Jocelyn Erickson.
These are our 6 home sites this year: Chicago, Durham, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Oklahoma City, Salt Lake City, and Austin, Texas. We were in all of those locations but one last year, and it was Portland, but I don't think there's any doubt that the folks in Oregon are going to come out in droves to see the Cascade. We talked to their general manager, Jamie Loprise, today, who just raved about the support they've had. She said she got to Portland and was going through TSA, and one of the TSA agents saw her jacket and commented on how much they're ready for the Cascade to get there. Said they have two of their favorite players. This is hit into center field for Coleman off the bat of Erickson, who's retired.
And that's really saying something, because the Cascade had not even played a home or away game when that TSA officer had seen that logo and instantly recognized it. Man, I mean, that really tells you something when a moment like that has happened that Jamie shared with us.
Jamie Loprise, the general manager of the Cascade. Kirk Walker actually was a part of the Utah Talons last year in a coaching role, but he moves to the general manager role of the Oklahoma City Spark. Him and Amber Flores have developed a great partnership there already. Ground ball right side off the bat of Kern. They get the lead runner, but they will not get two. Last year felt like the year of the double play in the AUSL, but we have not seen one yet in this game.
Well, Montana Fouts has to love that she just got an out, and would have loved even more if it was a double play with 2 outs on her off-speed drop ball. Dropped it down that time to 64, executed it through the zone, got Taryn Kern out on her front foot and off the end of the bat.
Catches the outside corner to Clements, 0-2 count. First time through for the Bandits. They were 5 for 9, scored a pair of runs off Montana Fouts. This is their 3rd time through, but they have just 2 hits in 13 at-bats in their 2nd and 3rd time through combined.
Yeah, I think that she's done a better job of relying on her drop ball more and gotten a lot of more outs that have been on the ground, where the Bandits hitters have not been able to get the bottom half of balls and elevate them to the outfield and really square them up.
Flirting with the outside corner on that pitch, misses for ball 1. Swing and a miss. Fouts wins the battle with Clements. Her 3rd strikeout tonight, and Montana is rolling.
Getting better as this game goes on. She is painting quarters and using her drop ball like this. Look at the location of that pitch. Down the zone, off the plate, gets the chase. She's rolling. Got all of that. Good crowds at all the facilities that we played in today.
2 grand slams in that game. Tiare Jennings also hit one for the Volts. How about those 2 names? Maya Brady against Tiare Jennings. Speaking of stars, here is another one who takes the circle for the first time in 2026. Odyssey Alexander Bennett. And of course, fans were introduced to Odyssey at the Women's College World Series for James Madison when they won their first 2 games. They beat Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma State that year. She is a 6th-year pro from Boynton, Virginia, and just welcomed her daughter Halo in January of this year.
She has to be just so excited to be getting back out there. We saw her pitch last summer where she was in the early pregnancy stages, so she was pitching when she was pregnant and had the baby, little Halo, in January.
This is lifted to deep left field. Dayton goes back, and again, this big ballpark here in Utah keeps the ball in the yard.
But you know that Odyssey Alexander Bennett has been working so hard after having Halo, and just the effort it has taken for her to get back out here, to get to pitch in this game on opening day, wearing that Bandits uniform. You know that she's just so pumped and is just putting in a lot of time and effort to get back out there to be the best version of herself.
There's that 59-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch from Odyssey. Had a really good 2025, went 4-2, a 3.65 ERA in 30 2/3 innings pitched. Was primarily used out of the bullpen. 9 of her 12 appearances came out of the pen. (0-2) just tipped by Jayda Coleman, who is 0 for 2, or 0 for 1 so far, I should say. Had a sac fly in the 3rd inning to score the 4th run for the Talons. High for ball 1.
If you're wondering what's on her jersey, that is a mic. It's not a big bug or anything that's like on her jersey while she's hitting.
Odyssey almost went and got it. Jayda Coleman was on the Oklahoma team that Odyssey beat in Oklahoma City, and then they responded to beat James Madison twice and ended up four-peating. That was the first of the four-peat. Let's go into the game with Jayda Coleman.
Are you guys nervous, excited? Like what kind of?
Low-key, I think this is like butterflies, like for the first time in a long time.
Oh, but that means you care.
Yes.
Like, that always means you care.
Yes, butterflies. Ready, big dog? Yeah. I'm ready to go. Come on, let's go. All this ruckus. Let's just play.
There was a lot of ruckus leading up to this season, you could say, in a lot of good ways, but they're ready to lace him up. Off to a good start. Jacobsen into center field at 𝐂𝐿, and there's 2 outs for Odyssey.
And Jayda Coleman has a big personality. She has a big stick. She has a big glove. I'm telling you, I just think she is such a star, and I absolutely love that she has come and joined the AUSL. She is a big get, so much fun to watch, and can't wait to watch her play some more games. We have 2 more games in this series, and then a lot more games after that she'll play in that Talons uniform in June and July.
Sometimes it's just fun to think about, what if on that 2028 Olympic team, what if Jayda Coleman and Maya Brady line up together side by side in the outfield, which is certainly a very real possibility from what we have seen from them over the years. Maya Brady only played a couple weeks last year. She returned from injury, and she was unbelievable for the Talons. Now a member of the Oklahoma City Spark, and that is why 24 is standing on first base. They needed somebody to fill the massive void left by Brady, so Lisa Fernandez went and got Jayda Coleman.
She is such a good athlete. In high school, where she is from in Texas, in the Dallas area, she played shortstop as a left-handed fielder. Shortstop. Texas softball is like, you know, like legit, like really good. She was a left-handed shortstop. That's how athletic that Jayda Coleman is and what she is capable of. I feel like if you can do that, you can do anything.
Lisa Fernandez mentioned that to you. She remembered watching her in that setting as a left-handed shortstop coming out of high school. Jadelyn Allchin walks, and there is 2 on for guess who? Bri Ellis, who is having a night. Already one Bri bomb has left the yard. She hit another one to the wall in left field that resulted in a double. Would have been a home run in probably 98% of parks in the country.
She's getting just a ton of off-speed pitches now. So Odyssey Alexander will actually throw 2 different versions of a slower pitch. She has an off-speed curveball, and she has a changeup. So she'll work both of those pitches in. They spin differently.
Did not get all of this one to left field. Dayton coming in to make the catch. And Odyssey Alexander Bennett debuts to a clean first inning. in 2026, but Chicago needs some runs. This crowd is loving their newest professional team, the Utah Talons, who lead the Bandits 5-2 as we go to the 6th inning. This is game number 3 in the AUSL to start the 2026 season. 2 more teams, 6 home venues that we will be playing in all summer long. And off to a flying start. 7-8-9 to face Fouts. Flippin backs up on the grass, bounces it to first, and gets the out of Mary Jacopo.
Look how quick Hannah Flippin's feet are to take an angle to go deep into the 5-6 hole. And she reads the ball off the bat. Look at how quick her feet are. They don't stop moving. She plants her right foot and then one hops it to Bri Ellis on purpose. And Bri Ellis over there at first base is expecting a one hopper like that she's going to have to pick out of the dirt.
Sami Williams will be pinch hit for in this situation. And it will be a player out of the reserve athlete pool filling one of 2 voids offensively for the Bandits. It is Elon Butler, a native of San Jose, California, who, that right there is kind of what to expect from Elon. We watched her in batting practice. I don't think anyone on this field hit a ball farther. She was consistently hitting balls about 265, 270 dead center.
That ball was 81 miles an hour off the bat. The ball flies off her bat.
Takes outside ball 1. Elon, a native of San Jose, California, finished her college career with career bests at Oregon this year after 3 years at Cal. Now her first ever professional at bat. 1-2 count. Popped up. Will it stay in play? It will not.
It landed in the chair with this girl that's holding it, and I hope it didn't hit her. I hope it just hit the chair and then maybe hit her instead of just landing on her back. But she moved forward and it created space between her back and the back of that chair.
Two. Fouts gave up 2 runs in the top of the 1st inning. She's given up 7 hits, but she has put up 4 consecutive scoreless frames. Just misses low, ball 3. Got her swinging. Strikeout number 4 for Montana Fouts. And with more on Fouts, we go down to Anna Camden.
Well, I asked her about the balance between being a returning champion and also having a very new roster. And she said, we have a culture that we're building, and it's based on expectation of grit and excellence in everything that we do. And she said that everyone that has joined the team has really embodied that. And when we talked to Lisa Fernandez ahead of this game, she told us that Montana is the first person to ask for those newbies' numbers, to welcome them in, to get them on board with the rest of them. And I think what we're seeing tonight is these returners like Bri Ellis, Montana Fouts, they're taking the helm. They're leading with maturity and calm, and it's working for the Talons today.
It absolutely is. She has retired 6 straight, and the Talons are 3 outs away, but they'll get a chance at the plate next. That was new this year because last year everyone met in Rosemont before they broke for their respective locations. First pitch swinging is out to left field off the bat of Becker, and it's out number 1 for Odyssey Alexander Bennett. But I just think it gives it an even bigger feel than it already had to go to a specific location, to really be secluded with your teammates and kind of have that bonding, but also get ready for the season.
Yeah, a lot of reps, a lot of team bonding, a lot of figuring out, I don't know, just some traditions that you want to make with each other, like a family dinner that you have or any kind of handshakes that they have before the game. Just that bonding goes a long way throughout the rest of the season. And they got to scrimmage as well, so play against different teams.
Strike 1 to the top of the order. This is Aliyah Andrews for the Talons. A lot of great outfielders and talented outfielders But between Aliyah Andrews and Jayda Coleman, those two together maybe have the most range in the league, and that's saying something. Slapped through the 5-6 hole by Aliyah Andrews. First hit of the season for the Talons left fielder. Well, also, there's royalty in the building tonight, and it's a woman who has done so much for this league in such a ridiculously short amount of time, and it is the commissioner, 𝐂𝐚𝐫𝐢, who was announced as the first commissioner in league history, get this, on April 16th, 2025. That is barely a year. And think of all the things that have happened since then. About a month and a half after that, MLB announced their strategic investment in the AUSL. I would go one further to say that this league in general was announced on June 4th, 2024 at the Women's College World Series. That is almost 2 years to the day from right now.
And to walk up to the field and see the branding and the fans waiting to get in, and an entire merch tent and all the different Athletes Unlimited employees running around, just everything falling into place. You could just feel it walking in on opening day. It just is a different level this year. And last year started out at a very high level because of Commissioner Ng. And the standard, the bar that she set. Everybody loves being around Commissioner Ng, the experience that she brings from her days in baseball, and now we get to feel that, all of her experience in our sport.
Ground to the left side off the bat of Flippin, and there are 2 outs. And last year was fantastic. It covered a lot of ground in kind of the touring entity that it was. But these home markets are spread all across the country, and even though, of course, they don't represent all the major cities, but if you think about it, Salt Lake City, very easy place to fly into. Chicago, to see the Bandits, very easy place to fly into. The O'Hare International, one of the busiest airports in the world, is across the street from Parkway Bank Sports Complex. So there's a lot of opportunities for fans somewhere from west to east to see these teams. And we've seen that. We saw it last year. We saw fans travel from all over the place. A lot of them went to multiple locations.
And then for the long haul. I mean, there were over 6,000 fans at the Round Rock Express Stadium whenever we had the Volts and the Bandits. Thank you. Setting a Texas record for the amount of, or the highest attendance at a Texas softball game.
I tried to slide that one to you. Cool, I just mouthed it, but you said thank you.
I'm a good teammate. You're a good teammate for helping me.
It's just an assist. Just take it next time. Come on now. We're in the land of John Stockton. I'm just dishing one out to you. Alongside Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. We are delighted to be here for opening day. 2 more games here in Salt Lake City over the next 2 days between these 2 clubs. Fantastic pitching matchups. How about this pitching matchup for you? Just a little appetizer to the season. Tomorrow in Durham, North Carolina, Carlin Pickens makes her debut for the Carolina Blaze against last year's #1 pick in the college draft, Sam Landry, going for the Portland Cascade. You want to tune in to that game on ESPN2 tomorrow night, Pickens and Landry. Last chance for the Bandits here in Salt Lake City on opening night. They need 3 to keep it going. Some big Utah Talons fans in attendance tonight. Packed stadium. 5-2, the Talons lead the Bandits in our 2025 championship rematch on opening night in the AUSL. And Montana Fouts trying to go the distance. 6 innings, 7 hits allowed, 2 earned. They both came in the first. She has put up 5 consecutive scoreless innings.
Just gotten better as this game has gone on. With really good 3 up, 3 down inning in the third as well as the sixth.
It's Morgan Zirkle for strike one to start off the inning.
Being able to throw, I think, her drop ball a lot more. I think that it's looked really good late in the game. She was missing it low, a little bit more in the dirt with that pitch. She's been able to find the perfect height for it and work it inside to the lefties.
Back to Fouts, runs it over to first base. There is 1 out. It's a big performance for Montana Fouts because, as we've talked with the Bandits missing pieces, the Talons aren't missing as much. Tinsley and Woolery have signed their pro contracts. They're just not with the team yet, but the expectation is that they will be soon. The biggest missing piece for Utah right now is last year's Pitcher of the Year in the AUSL, Georgina Corrick. So to get a performance like this on opening night, you don't have to go to the bullpen. The Bandits don't see any other arms potentially. It's huge.
And you know, you have Megan Framo waiting in the wings as well. She was able to get here back to the United States early.
Back to Fouts. Says, give me that. 2 outs. She had 2 complete games a year ago, both of them against the Bandits. One of them came in the championship clinching Game 2 in Tuscaloosa.
To my quick count, I think that she's made 5 outs tonight. 4 on the ground, and then the line drive that was hit right back at her.
You're right. My less fast count confirms it. Erin Coffel, last year's MVP, keeps it going into the left center gap. That's going to roll a mile to the wall. And Coffel strolls into second with a 2-out double. Pair of hits for her and a walk tonight.
I think she's seeing the ball well, and Jenny Dalton-Hill, the general manager of the Bandits, said that Erin Coffel is in a good place to start this season. Gets a curveball, hard line drive, 74 miles an hour off the bat.
Jenny Dalton-Hill really high on the fact that Erin Coffel was with that Florida program for the 2nd consecutive year as a grad manager, being around Tim Walton and that group, and a player like a Jocelyn Erickson who is at the dish right now trying to keep this game going. Fouls it out of play, 1-1 count. Since the Bandits loaded the bases with nobody out in the top of the 4th inning and didn't get any runs in that inning, they have gone 1 for 12 with a walk at the plate. And that one was the hit just then by Coffel. Erickson takes another big cut at that pitch. 2-2. The Bandits down to their final strike. Ground ball flipping to her left, makes the play. And it's the home team sweeping opening night of the 2026 AUSL season. Montana Fouts and Bri Ellis star for the Utah Talons.
It's opening day. You want to come out and put on a show for your home crowd like the Talons did tonight, with Montana Fouts throwing the complete game in the circle, getting better as this game went on. And then Bri Ellis, a couple of extra base hits, her first home run of the season. She only hit 1 all season, already had 1 in her first at bat this season, and the fans absolutely loving it, spreading their wings for this team.
Anna Camden has Montana Fouts.
With a win, started this one with a win. What got it done for you guys here tonight?
Honestly, just the defense. I feel like timely hitting and defense, because I wasn't feeling my best, and I feel like anytime they put the ball hard in play and my defense had a chance to catch it, they did. Same thing with timely hitting, so I'm super proud of them.
Well, you weren't feeling your best, but you had 6 consecutive scoreless innings, so something was working for you. What was it?
Honestly, I just was not too proud of myself for not giving the best start to my team because they deserve it. So I was like, you know what, they're not getting another one for me. So, and huge credit to the defense. I mean, they were making plays, and Shar for putting up for me today. So a lot of credit to Shar.
How do you carry this momentum from your defense and from your team into tomorrow night?
We just keep trusting our stuff, you know. I mean, like, we work really hard for this moment and to be here, and it's a short season, so it's just how can we attack one game at a time and for each other.
And what's the fix for you to be proud of yourself standing here tomorrow night?
Just trust my stuff, you know. I mean, we work hard for this moment, and I know that I have worked hard for this moment, so I'm just going to go out there and play.
Awesome. Thanks, Montana. Back to you, Chucky.
Montana Fouts was excellent. 7 innings, 8 hits, just the 2 earned runs, though. And as Anna said, 6 consecutive scoreless to finish the night.
Yeah, she just settled in after that first inning, became determined, relied on her defense. Maybe the nerves settled in a little bit as well after giving up 2 runs in that first inning. But Rise dropped, throwing her off-speed pitch a little bit, 4 strikeouts for Montana, and relying on her defense. And Charlize Palacios getting a lot of credit back behind the plate for her battery mate tonight.